difficult for the staff and for audiences. And the artists, particularly the freelancers that we hire, the lighting companies, the sound companies, the freight companies, and the musicians. I mean, it's such a blow. Our systems to make sure people are safe are beyond reproach. We'd hired hundreds of staff to come back for Christmas.
A man who murdered 9 people he contacted via Twitter has been sentenced to death in Japan. Takahiro Shiraishi became known as the Twitter killer in Japan, following his arrest in 2017 and the discovery of body parts in his apartment. The Indian government says it's received multiple initial bids for a stake in the country's debt-laden carrier Air India. It comes after an attempt to sell a majority stake in the airline 2 years ago failed to draw any bidders. Rebecca Bunden reports from Mumbai.
Local media reports suggest that India's Tata Sons is among those who have submitted bids for the airline. It's also understood that a group of more than 200 Air India employees, along with a financial partner, has submitted their expression of interest. India's government has sweetened the deal by allowing bidders to decide how much of the carrier's debt they want to take on. The latest efforts to sell off the loss-making airline come as the aviation sector worldwide has been hit hard by the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Rebecca Bunden, Mumbai.
US President Donald Trump says Attorney General William Barr is leaving his position next week. The president's been angered in recent weeks by Mr. Barr's refusal to pursue efforts to overturn the election result for Mr. Trump. US correspondent Nick Harper reports from Washington.
William Barr fell out of favour with President Trump. He said the Justice Department that he oversees found no widespread voter fraud in the election. In a tweet, the president downplayed their recent differences, writing that their relationship has been a very good one. He has done an outstanding job. Mr. Barr's tenure at the Justice Department has been marked with controversy, critics saying he lacked the impartiality needed for the job, bending to the will of the president and eroding the department's independence. Deputy Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen will take over Mr. Barr's vacant position from next Wednesday.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It's Tuesday, December 15th. We're your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Joining with me is my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, I gotta say that is a snazzy-looking Nevada Wolfpack windbreaker that you're rocking there.
Yeah, that is good, man. This really badass friend of mine from Nevada got it for Christmas and decided to rock it early today. So thanks, Mr. Fenix.
You're very welcome.
It is nice. I should have thrown on a hat to boot with it, but today still got just normal hair. So
yeah. Luckily, no bedhead. I know that we sort of switched roles this morning, where yesterday I was just dead tired throughout the show, and you were up and awake and alive, and now I'm feeling good. You're a little bit on the tired side, but
oh yeah,
we'll still have fun.
Role reversal, man. Yeah,
exactly.
That's all right. It typically, days where I work late, it's seemingly the first few segments I'm a little slower, then it perks up. So.
Right. Exactly. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, have you ever named any of your cars? For instance, my Mitsubishi is named Mitzi.
Mitzi? Yeah, my blue Ford Escape is Skywalker. The one before that was Kylo, because it was red and black, so it was Kylo Ren. And then my Tacoma was Falcon, after the Millennium Falcon. So last three have all been Star Wars related. So.
I was going to say, I sense a theme.
And then before that, I don't know if I named any of the others, but those three have been named.
Yeah, the only other one I named was my blue Kia Optima, which was named Blue. Like, you're my boy, yeah. Blue.
Hey, my boy Blue. That's a great car, too.
That was a fun car. Well, all that goes to say that the Scottish government operates a website that shows the live location of its road salt spreading snowplow trucks, which may not sound particularly exciting, but each has been given a humorous name. The website has been in operation since 2016, but recently gained global attention after a report in the Herald. According to the BBC, the nickname convention began in 2006 when school children were asked to make suggestions. Here's just a rundown of some of the names. There's so many in there that I can't get to them all, but you've got Blizzard Bear, Chili Connolly, Darth Spreader, David Plowie, Gangsta Granny Gritter, Grit Expectations, Gritallica, Gritney Spears.
Ooh, I like that one.
I do too.
Gritallica.
Gritty Bang Bang, Ice Destroyer, License to Chill, Luke Snowwalker, of course, Mr. Plow. You can't have a plow that's not named Mr. Plow,
right? That name again is Mr. Plow.
Ready, Spready, Go, Sandy the Solway Salter, Sir Grits-a-Lot, Slippy McGritty, Snow Destroyer, Snow Trooper, Snokey Mongo, Snowbegone Kenobi, Sprinkle Bell.
That's a good one.
The
Sprinkle Bell.
The Snowbuster, and True Gritter. And of course, there's a whole bunch of them that I'll post onto our Facebook page if you want to see the full list of names that were assigned to these snowplows. But I'm surprised there wasn't like Snowy McSnowface or Gritty McGritface or anything along those lines, considering that's what most people want to name things. Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, no, I thought those were some good ones. Which lift are you taking out today? Gritty Bang Bang?
I missed Han Snowlow.
Oh, there you go. A lot of good puns in there.
Yeah, and you can tell that they're also Star Wars fans like you, and then music fans too. There were some good music references in there as well.
Gritallica, I like that one.
Yeah. So I figured that'd be a fun way to start off the show today. No death, no destruction, no. This was.
I was waiting to put on a hypothetical hat.
No. Figured we'd go on the brighter side this morning. But in any case, we have a wonderful show lined up for you today, folks. It is Tuesday. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
It is Taco Tuesday!
It is Taco Tuesday, and as we do on Tuesdays, we have Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. We have a segment called Loopholes. Our call-in topic today is how it should have ended. We were talking the worst TV series finales. Well, how would you have changed it? How would you have made it better? We have a segment called Whatever Happened to the Cast of... Well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out who we're talking about. We round out the day with This Day in History, and up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys, the listeners and watchers, an opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you named your car a fun, festive sort of name or something that, is pop culture like Tony did with Star Wars. Well, we want to hear about it. Give us a call at the Fenix Line on 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now it is the second segment of this show, and that means Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Here's your Filippo Fast Five. Marvel's Hellstrom has been canceled by Hulu after one season. Gotta say, I'm not very familiar with that one. You?
I've seen the previews. It looks interesting, but I don't think it's a big enough name to really grab people.
Yeah, well, it ain't gonna grab anyone because it's gone.
Yep.
Rachel Lee Cook joins She's All That gender-swapping remake, but not as Lainey Boggs. So it's called He's All That. So, yeah, she does not look like she's aged either. She looks exactly like she did in the 90s.
No kidding. Wow.
Still a very pretty lady. Jeff Bridges debuts a shaved head, new puppy amid lymphoma cancer battle. He's feeling good. Well, that's good.
Good.
Him rocking a shaved head is really nothing new. We saw that in Iron Man. But in real life, with a battle, having the bald head is, I'm glad he's feeling good, and he's got a dog to keep him happy along the way. The Office streaming surprise. It left Netflix this last month and is now debuted on the Peacock. But unfortunately, you can only watch seasons 1 and 2. If you want to watch seasons 3 through 9, you're gonna have to pay the cheddar. You have to pay for it. It's kind of weird, because it's a free stream. I think it's a free streaming. I don't know.
I think
there's a basic and a premium, so you got to pay for whatever the premium one is.
Yeah, they call it freemium, so they give you the first taste for free. But if you want more, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of The Office, there you go. You're probably better off just waiting for a deal on Vudu and buy the entire series for like $30. So probably better way to go. And then lastly, the Nintendo Switch Online hasn't updated their video game section in a long time. I think since September. Well, December 18th, so on Friday, you can get the following games. Super Nintendo's Online, you get Donkey Kong Country 3, The Ignition Factor, Super Valis 4, and Tough Enough. If you want a Nintendo game, you can get Nightshade. Donkey Kong Country 3 is the only one I've really remember playing. So.
Yeah, me too.
but there you go. There's your Filippo Fast Five. Let's roll on to the entertainment, shall we?
We shall.
You might want to get your fatality button ready.
Oh, I've always got it ready.
Okay. So you got Mortal Kombat, Tom and Jerry movies get new 2021 release dates.
Toasty!
Warner Brothers, there you go. I was like, that one works perfect too. Warner Brothers has announced new release dates for Mortal Kombat and Tom and Jerry. Mortal Kombat will open Wednesday, April 16th, 2021 in theaters and in the U.S. only, and on HBO Max the same day. I guess it's in the U.S. only on HBO Max that day. Warner Brothers also released a brand new poster and logo for the movie on a Monday press release. Tom and Jerry moves up a week to February 26th. It's likely a response to Disney's news this past week that their animated words are hard today. Animated movie Raya and the Last Dragon is set for March 5th. Tom and Jerry is not looking to have that fight, so they moved up a week earlier. With Warner Brothers announcing its entire 2021 movie slate, where movies will debut in theaters and HBO Max. In the week since Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, I can't say that name, sorry.
Villeneuve.
So, there you go, what you said. Have publicly criticized the movie in their own separate statements. The Move. So the whole thing here is they're obviously, as directors and artists, they're upset. They feel this is going to hurt the cinema, but it's not what this article is about. I don't know why they really jammed that in there. The point of it was to tell you Mortal Kombat and Tom and Jerry are coming. That was the whole point.
All right. Yeah. Tom and Jerry looks terrible.
I'm not going to go into their character or into their bitching and griping.
Exactly.
So. And they have legit bitch and gripes. It's fine, but
yeah, I don't disagree with them. But I was going to say Tom and Jerry just looks awful. Mortal Kombat, we haven't seen any footage yet, so couldn't even comment on it.
No, just the logo.
Yep.
The logo looks cool. It's a little more modern version of the classic logo.
Well, we know it's going to be rated R and include fatalities, so
yeah,
fatality.
Should be, fingers crossed it'll be good. I mean, story-wise it can't be great, but action-wise it could be really good.
You never know.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids might like it. I don't know. Tom and Jerry in a live action setting. It just seems goofy. So, what big actress is in that movie?
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Okay, that's right. Hit girl.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, so still speaking of HBO Max in theaters, Wonder Woman 1984 will have a post-credit scene when it releases in theaters and HBO Max in just a few weeks. The DC Comics movie screened for members of the press earlier in December, but the advanced copies and screening of the film did not include the post-credit scenes. This has now been confirmed by Wonder Woman 1984 director and Rogue Squadron director Patty Jenkins, who started doing rounds of press to promote the film's release. Wonder Woman 1984 decided to hold its post-credit scene teaser, an additional scene which could tease the future of its characters for others in the DC movie world. So one of the great joys of comic book movies we got accustomed to was staying post-credits and seeing what was next, and looks like you'll be getting the same thing here with Wonder Woman, so that should be a good thing.
Yeah, and the DC movies never really did that except for, was it Batman versus Superman, where we got that little tease of Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. But other than that, they really didn't do it. It was more of a Marvel thing.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be doing that, so stay tuned for the end credits, everybody. Speaking of movies as well, Star Wars, with the announcements of Taika Waititi's upcoming Star Wars movies, and notice there was zero mention of Rian Johnson's trilogy.
Yep.
It was like, I don't think that's happening.
Probably not.
I think that's been swept the far wayside. But anyways, for Taika Waititi, everybody's jumping on board. They're excited. So once they announced his movies, Twitter went crazy with celebrities. Mark Ruffalo and Jason Momoa both put, "I'm available," and Momoa added, "F yes, count me in." While there was numerous of like Josh Brolin, good old Thanos, like count him in, full support. So it's getting a lot of people that are just stoked for this. So Bryce Dallas Howard commented, "Great pick, legendary." Just all kinds of good support for Taika to take the realm and to take the helm of the next Star Wars trilogy. So that should be a good thing.
I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, he's got just that a great visual style, a wonderful sense of humor, a great storyteller, and I have no doubt that we'll see the inclusion of him as some sort of character in there. Hey, maybe IG-11 is coming back. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, the ones he's directed for Mandalorian have been really great too. Yeah. So should be a good thing. As we get back into, the actors start getting back into their projects that were shut down this following year, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is set to start doing production meetings and everything. Dave Bautista, who plays Drax the Destroyer in the hit Marvel franchise, told Entertainment Weekly that there's been some shifting in the long-awaited sequel storyline since writer-director James Gunn wrote his original draft. "I believe it's okay to say that we will go into production early next year," Bautista says. I saw a script early when we were all on schedule, and James Gunn was attached before everything went nutso. I believe because Marvel's calendar has changed, some of the storylines have had to change. They won't intersect like originally planned. Obviously, we lost Chadwick, so I don't know where that leaves Black Panther. I haven't seen a new script in the short answer, Gunn announced. So looks like Guardians is not set to release until 2022. is it? No, production. Yeah, it's supposed to be released February 11th, 2022. Star-Lord is expected to show up in Love and Thunder before that as well. So, actually, sorry, I apologize. Thor: Love and Thunder is February 11th, 2022. Because Guardians is more holidays of 2022, or is it 2023? It doesn't say. It's out there for a while. So,
well, either way, we've got to wait for a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a little early to comment, but kind of a teaser there. It looks like Black Panther was going to be included some way, but not so much now. But maybe a nice reference or something.
Right. Well, they might still include Black Panther, but the new version of Black Panther.
This is true. Talking about some video game news here. Xbox Cloud Gaming is coming to iOS and PC in 2021. Xbox today revealed that cloud gaming is coming to both Apple and Windows as a part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. The service previously referred to Project xCloud, while in preview is lumped into a larger subscription service and has notably already been available on Android devices. Starting next year, that is set to seriously expand. In spring 2021, we will take our next step into our journey to reach more players around the world by making cloud gaming a part of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate throughout the mobile web browser. By adding over 1 billion devices as a path to playing in the Xbox ecosystem, we envision a seamless experience for all types of players. Whether it's playing Minecraft Dungeons with your Xbox friends, using touch controls on your iPhone, or jumping into Destiny 2 Beyond Light on a Surface Pro when you have a break in between meetings. So basically, this is their answer to the Nintendo Switch's, take it on the go. So doesn't say what games would be available, because I know the Xbox Game Pass mobile is a little limited to what you can play on the console. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting either way. I'm still a little surprised that these next-gen systems, they were supposed to get rid of those extremely long loading times when you got a new game. I don't think they've necessarily done that.
No, I don't know. I haven't played a PS5 or an Xbox One Series X, which if you're lucky enough today, Best Buy apparently has them. So good luck to you if you're on a chasing hunt for that. But that is that. Should be fun, and we'll see how that goes. Luckily, we have 2 short birthdays today. This is why I stretched out entertainment. There's not a lot of birthdays, but let's roll with the 2 birthday boys. It's my birthday! Oh, yeah. It was about 5,000 birthdays for YouTubers and about 2 for recognizable stars. So here we go with the bad puns. This blind man may see spiders in the courtroom, but don't dare him to unleash his inner devil. Mr. Charlie Cox, a.k.a. Daredevil, he's 37. This former Miami heartthrob from the 80s was a regular Don Juan, busting bad guys with his fellow partner, but it's just acting. That was his vice. Mr. Don Johnson is 70. Tied the Miami Vice there. That's all. Happy birthday, you 2 wild animals. And that's it for entertainment for December 15th. Oh, and a shout out to my nephew, Cullen. It is his 15th birthday today. And my buddy and listener, Brett Farmer. It is his, I think, 25th birthday today. So happy birthday, fellas.
Very cool. Happy birthday, guys. That does do it for the entertainment news. When we come back, it's Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole, or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Now, we are all over social media with many of you watching us right now as we speak on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Now, if you want to get a hold of me on social, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Fenix Media Radio. Tony is available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94 or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now it is Tuesday, as we do on Tuesdays. We've got Animal Tales sponsored by roughriders.org. Now, Rough Riders is a local 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the transport of dogs from kill shelters out in the rural areas, in bringing them into the metro area, working with local shelters and local rescues to find them homes and give them a second chance at life. For more information on Rough Riders, head over to roughriders.org or facebook.com/roughriderssaves. Now, without further ado, let's head on into those animal tales.
Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays and the pony neighs, the old grey badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo.
I feel like I need just a jug, just a boom, boom, boom.
Never stop in the middle of a hoedown.
I know, right? All right, let's kick off the animal tales.
Kick it.
Stories like this always warm my heart. A whiff of her old blanket was enough for Lola. The black lab was back in her owner's arms after 3 years after the Michigan dog disappeared on a trip to suburban Chicago. I feel like I'm in a dream right now, Deborah Mahure said Saturday when she and her husband Steve were reunited with Lola at DuPage County Animal Services. Lola vanished from a fenced yard in 2017 when the Mahures of Kalamazoo, Michigan were visiting a friend in Elk Grove Village. The couple returned for about a month, hoping to find a dog that was specially trained to help Deborah in her case of a seizure. The Mahures posted notices, got help from volunteers, and hired a professional pet searcher. No luck. DuPage County authorities got a call last week from a couple in Glendale Heights who had noticed Lola the past few years going into a forest preserve. They had been leaving food for the dog and earned her trust. A microchip revealed Lola's owners. I still had an ounce of hope, I guess, but the majority of me was thinking she had already crossed the Rainbow Bridge. I was just completely stunned, Deborah said. Lola wagged her tail when she smelled her old blanket. Of course, no one knows how the dog survived for 3 years. If only she could talk, Deborah said. And I'm going to post these on our Facebook page where you can see them being reunited and just how happy Lola is to see her former owners. But the fact that she lived basically in the wild for 3 years is amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lola Montez, so beautiful.
Absolutely. Let's move on with our next animal tale. Well, while that one was a dream, this is the stuff of nightmares. Workers at an Upper Manhattan Chipotle restaurant say they've been fighting a losing battle against hordes of hungry rats and a management team that let the infestation get so bad that 4 staffers have been bitten by the massive rodents. The besieged fast casual Mexican joint on Broadway near West 169th Street in Washington Heights closed to customers indefinitely late last month. Thank goodness. But only after rats chewed through the wiring of a computer system that handled orders, according to 2 employees to the Post. In the meantime, those workers are still going into the store to clean in an effort to keep the vermin at bay. It really started to take a toll on us, said Melvin Paulino, a 3-year veteran at the store who was bitten by a rat last Friday while cleaning. We're all scared. It's pretty common that some of my coworkers will just start screaming out of the blue, and we don't know what's happening. It's pure chaos every time a rat appears. The location, just 1 block north of the New York Presbyterian Hospital, is currently listed as having an A health rating from the city. Ew, that's a little scary. Though a Department of Health spokesperson said a rodent complaint was submitted on November 30th and a written letter was issued the next day. The DOH also said an in-person sweep would be conducted Tuesday by both a restaurant inspector and a pest control expert. The rodent invasion began near the end of the summer, the employees said. Avocados would suddenly have small nibbles taken out of them, and workers would find holes in bags of rice where the critters had chewed through the packaging. So if you've been craving Chipotle today, maybe not the best day to go. That might turn me off from Chipotle altogether.
Well, it's not even. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's definitely enough to turn you off. But geez, man, that just number one. Do you get paid enough to work there? I wouldn't deal with it, especially if I got bit by a rat and they didn't fix it, dude. I'd be gone.
Oh, totally.
Go find another job. But yeah, it is. It's kind of the unthinkable things you don't think about with fast food or restaurants. Is every place does deal with rodents and mice and whatever. But that store seemed like it had way too much going on. So, yeah.
Well, not only that, and again, I'll post this on our Facebook page, but you should see the size of these rats. They're literally the size of a cat. I mean, they're massive.
Yeah. When I was in New York and we were in the subway, I swear to God, I saw a Master Splinter. Like, it was a giant. It was the biggest rat I've ever seen. So if I saw anything that big, yeah, F no, man. I'm out.
I don't blame you.
I'm gone.
All right, so we went from fun, lighthearted, heartwarming
to nightmares, and you're not hungry anymore.
To terrifying, back to a little more on the fun side with animal tales. A Florida woman was shocked by an early morning visitor that had made herself at home in her Christmas tree, a raccoon. Early Thursday morning, about 4:15 a.m., Aubrey Icobelli was woken up by her dog growling. I have a doggy door, and my dog sleeps right in front of that door. I hear her going in and out all night. I wake up and hear her barking outside. She asked her Amazon Alexa to turn on the lights and saw her dog was staring at the Christmas tree and barking. I just knew that there was something there that shouldn't have been there. I see a furry body in the Christmas tree, she said. She grabbed a frying pan to try and get the animal, which she thought was a cat, out of her tree. I didn't want to hurt the animal. I just wanted it outside of the house. That's when the raccoon finally came out of the tree and revealed itself. Icobelli and her dog spotted the raccoon on the side of the tree, and the dog jumped towards it, knocking it over. The raccoon ran away from freedom, jumped on my chandelier where it swung there for like 30 minutes, she said. After chasing the raccoon around the house for an hour, it finally went back outside by using the dog door it had used to enter the house earlier. Icabelli says her advice to others in a similar situation is to call animal control and just have a sense of humor about the situation. And yeah, she probably should have called animal control from the beginning instead of trying to capture it with a frying pan. What were you trying to accomplish there?
You're not going to catch a raccoon with that, you know?
No.
Especially if he's as wily as Rocket, you know?
Yeah, those trash pandas are quite wily.
Yeah. Hey, who you guns? I am's what I am's. Yeah, that's crazy. And I also was picturing Rocket Raccoon in the Christmas tree, a la Gremlins, when the gremlin is hiding in it and attacks Billy's mom, Mrs. Peltzer.
I
pictured that just with a raccoon, and then the dog in my head was Barney from Gremlins. It was basically the whole Gremlins scene.
There you go. In my head, I was picturing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where they had the squirrel in the tree and it was attacking everybody. But
hey, they're just as wild, dude. Another birthday person, my friend Brittany. It's her birthday today. She actually got bit by a squirrel on the way to work one day. The weirdest thing. She said the squirrel chased her. And I didn't find it funny because she got bit, but I was like, squirrels don't chase people. After having my squirrel experience this way, they very much do chase you, and they're very much vindictive little a-holes.
And with that, we end Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Folks, when we come back, we have a segment called Loopholes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. We have reached the final segment of the first hour of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, December 15th, but don't fret, there is still plenty ahead with our second hour, including the interactive portion of the show, where today we are covering how it should have ended. TV series finales. Basically, what did you dislike in TV series and how would you have changed that? Now, all that goes to say that if you missed a portion of this show or want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it is easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Now in this segment, which we've titled Loopholes, I want to talk about some loopholes that people have found throughout life that they've certainly taken advantage of. Tony, working for Costco, I know that many people take advantage of the return policy loopholes that you guys have. Just real quick, can you give us an example of maybe one of the crazier return policy loopholes that you've seen? Maybe the washer and dryer from 1980, whatever.
Yeah. So I think it was 2007 or no, I think it was 2009, 7 or 9. Somewhere we adopted the 90-day return policy on electronics like TVs, because it used to be no set time limit. You could bring back TVs, and people were upgrading all the time around the Super Bowl or things like that. They were just going bigger and better. Now, as you had the big box TVs or the big, remember those ones where you had to get the light bulb and that was the big screen TV. It was those.
Totally had
the DLPs. Yeah. So people were returning those for flat panels. Well, eventually, they did put a limit on it and said, okay, well, now these are 90 days, yada, yada. Well, the loophole was if they purchased it before that effect went into play, well, you could return your TV. So technically, if you buy a TV in 2003, you could probably still return it. But you were going to need to do a lot of work to do that because it's not something we could look up anymore. Luckily, they capped it. We used to be able to go back years because I had seen probably one of the most ridiculous ones I remember at the time seeing was we were on PlayStation 3 at the time. Now we're PlayStation 5. So we were on the PlayStation 3 cycle. And a guy returned his PS1 and it had WCW Nitro, the game. And why that was irrelevant was this was 2008. So at that point, WCW hadn't been a company in like 7 years. And again, we're on the PlayStation 3 and they're returning a PlayStation 1. So
and they get their full money back.
Yeah, and it was a weird one. It was one of the little when the PS1s went a little smaller. They weren't so big. They went to this little small design. But yeah, they returned it and got their $350, I think it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's loopholes. It's that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking at we're looking at loopholes that people have taken advantage of. And I think for today, we're going to use the Batman 1966 transition to go between stories. All right. So you have this person who said, used to work at Starbucks like 7 years ago, and they used to print these receipts where if you filled out a survey, it would give you a 6-digit code, which you could then exchange for a free drink. However, when you gave in the receipt with the code, we would just toss it in the garbage and then give the free drink. So over a shift, I would just keep all the survey receipts when people didn't want them, write random numbers on them, then keep a wallet full of free coffee. Since I already got tons of free drinks, I would give them to homeless people and explain it was good for free coffee. Probably gave away like 100 free drinks. And that's in a case where somebody used their loophole, obviously, for good to help some homeless folks. But if
if it's there, if it's legal, why not take advantage of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're not breaking any law, a-hole, I think you're all right.
Exactly. Let's move on with loopholes. You've got this person who said, I paid $300 a month to park in a really pimped out van. To park a really pimped out van in a heated garage in Boston. If you parked front, no one could see you. Found a spot near an electrical outlet and ran a line into the van. Paid for a $10 gym across the street that was open 24 hours, so I had all the hot showers I wanted. Served at a nearby restaurant, so ate most of my meals for free. Watched TV on my laptop with the free Wi-Fi from the coffee shop above me. Literally lived in downtown Boston for $310 a month while I went to college. And again, that is savvy, because I would imagine living in downtown Boston would be super expensive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the sad thing. Any big metro area you choose to live in, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So,
yeah,
even living in Reno costs you an arm and a leg nowadays. And there's some parts of downtown Reno that are very scary.
I'm curious how much the pimped out van cost them, and if it was airbrushed with dragons or maidens flying on a Pegasus. Yeah, that's just sort of what I picture being in that garage. So.
Right.
All right, let's move on with loopholes. When I was a kid, there was a payphone down the street that if you put your quarter in, made a call but no one answered, it would give you 2 quarters back. Went there all the time and called home when I knew no one was there to answer. And of course, you got a 100% return on your investment. So, take advantage of it. Obviously, if it's empty of quarters, then, you just wait till more people make phone calls.
Yeah. Mike, he just texted me, and back in the day when Taco Bell was doing the original Xbox, the big gaudy, that one, well, let me make sure it's that Xbox. Yeah.
The big old brick.
It is, yeah. So it was the big one, and Taco Bell was giving away, win an Xbox, and it could have been the 360 too, I don't know. But anyways, his buddy worked at Taco Bell, and the promotion was getting ready to end, and they were just going to toss these stacks of cards away. They were just gonna chuck him, and he gave Mike, he goes, here, you can just have them, good luck. Mike ended up winning an Xbox out of the deal.
No kidding, that's awesome.
Because as an employee, that dude couldn't win anything, he couldn't use anything, and it was just going in the trash, which obviously he probably should have just thrown it in the trash, because but that's awesome that he gave it to Mike, and Mike was able to back then get an Xbox.
Yeah, Mike reaped the reward. Exactly.
So at least they know, like Mike can verify, like those contests, they actually did have something that won him one. So
yeah, well,
yes, the deals exist.
On a quick side tangent, I mean, if you look into the whole McDonald's Monopoly game thing, I mean, there was huge money in people gaming that system, and it's no joke.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can. There was this really heavy set lady that lived on my street growing up, and she won, I think, $100K on the McDonald's thing.
Nice.
Because I was friends with her. I was friends with her kid's mom. So, wait, that made no sense. I was friends with that lady's kid.
There you go.
Like, my brain did not tie that together. Yeah, that's how I knew. And Mike confirmed it was the original Xbox, the big gaudy black one.
Very cool. Well, let's move on with our loopholes. This one says, I used to live in an apartment across the road from a casino whilst at university. They released an app where if you check in, you get points that go towards free food and drinks. Because I was close enough to the casino, I could check in without going to the casino itself. Every Saturday, I used to get a free burger, fries, and a drink and watch sports in the sports bar. They eventually scrapped the app. It was awesome considering I was a broke university student. Again, great job taking advantage of a loophole that just happened to exist.
Absolutely. We have a good new loophole at work right now.
Do tell.
Panda Express just built in our parking lot, which is great. I mean, if you like Panda, I know a lot of people don't, but I happen to like it. For a quick Chinese, they ain't too bad on the cheap. But they give Costco employees discounts, so it's great. So now I can literally get 2 entrees and rice, like my typical platter. It run me about $6 to $7 versus 10. So
that's a killer deal.
Saving some money.
Yeah, and you don't have to eat the Costco food, which I know you are sick of.
Yeah, I'm very tired of it. And I support the Costco food. I just don't personally eat it. And then when I worked at the other Costco in Thornton, Chick-fil-A hooked us up. Like if you ate there, you got an employee, you got free soda with every purchase or a free drink. So you would just go in and get your sandwich. And if you had the app, you usually had earned a free thing. So I go eat at Chick-fil-A on the cheap a lot back then too. So
nice. Chick-fil-A sounds so good right now. But we digress.
It does. Yeah. I haven't had Chick-fil-A in a while.
Let's move on with our loopholes. This one says, my aunt and uncle were trash collectors both professionally and as a hobby. Okay, that's a weird hobby. My mom had pulled one of her epic screw-ups again, and we ended up living with them. Most of our food came from the trash. However, Domino's had a reward system where the boxes had blue or red tabs depending on the size of the pizza. Collect enough tabs, get free pizzas. Aunt and uncle collected thousands of those tabs. We ate pizza every weekend for months before the company caught on and they put an end to it. I was 11 at the time, but I remember hearing that their address was banned for life from delivery. I'm pretty sure Domino's also stopped the promotion shortly thereafter. It was awesome while it lasted. And getting free pizza compared to eating trash, I would certainly agree with that.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And then finally, with our loopholes. This one says, in high school, our PE grade was based on improvement. We took a skills test at the beginning and another at the end, and your grade was based on how much you had improved. So once I learned that, I always sucked at the first test and then did miraculously better at the second, so I had a massive improvement and thus a better grade. And of course, anytime that you can find a loophole and game, the grading system, you know what? Again, take advantage of it. There is nothing wrong with it as long as it's not illegal. Well, folks, that does it for the end of the first hour. When we come back, it is our interactive portion of the show. How should it have ended with your favorite TV series finale? Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Enjoy the news, take a potty break, eat some Chick-fil-A, whatever floats your boat, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Phoenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The Republican leader in the U.S. Senate, Mitch McConnell, has formally recognized Joe Biden as America's president-elect for the first time. From FSN's Washington Bureau, Giles Gibson reports.
Senator McConnell broke his silence exactly 6 weeks after Election Day. The confirmation of Biden's victory by the Electoral College finally forcing his hand.
The Electoral College has spoken. So today I want to congratulate President-elect Joe Biden. The President-elect is no stranger to the Senate. He's devoted himself to public service for many years.
McConnell and the majority of Republicans in Congress have spent weeks dodging questions about the election result, with U.S. President Donald Trump still refusing to concede he lost to his Democratic rival.
Meanwhile, one senior Republican says the party is confronting a deeply uncertain future. Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, a former Republican presidential candidate, spoke on CBS.
Well, I think the party is uncertain of the course that we're going to take going forward. The principles that have long been the hallmark of my party are very much in question, which is, do we believe in balancing the budget? Do we believe in standing up to people like Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin? Are we committed to the principle that character counts? These are all things that I think we're going to have to decide over the coming years.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is poised to authorize the use of a second vaccine to fight COVID-19. The jab, created by U.S. pharmaceutical giant Moderna, is expected to receive the thumbs up within days. From FSN's Washington Bureau, Jagruti Dave reports.
The FDA said Moderna's vaccine was almost 95% effective 2 weeks after the second dose was administered. It also supported a favourable safety profile, and the agency found no specific safety concerns that would prevent the vaccine from getting emergency use authorization. The analysis comes ahead of an independent panel review on Thursday. The drug maker submitted its emergency use request to the FDA at the end of November, and if approved, it will become the second coronavirus vaccine to be rolled out across the United States.
The British government is coming under pressure to alter plans to give people a festive bubble of relaxed COVID-19 restrictions over Christmas. The country's opposition Labour Party says in light of spiking infections, the plan should be reviewed. New figures show that redundancies in the UK hit a record high in October, with the hospitality and retail sectors the worst hit. Overall, the unemployment rate rose to almost 5%. Ghislaine Maxwell, facing sex trafficking charges relating to her friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, is seeking a $28.5 million bail arrangement in the US. She's been in custody since July. The courts could rule later this month. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, folks, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, December 15th, where your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, you well hydrated today? Get your smoothie, all good to go?
Well hydrated today. Zip Fizz, smoothie, tea. So, if anyone out there wants to know when I'm drinking out of that coffee mug, it's not coffee. I actually don't do coffee. It is tea. Today's tea is a lavender. Oh no, that is lavender honey was yesterday. Today is a spiced vanilla chai.
Ooh.
It's all right. You know, to me, it's just water with a little flavor. Is all it is.
And does your tea bag have any
clears the throat?
Does your tea bag have any meaningful saying on it today?
Yeah, today it just says, love is the ultimate law of life. All you need is love. That's all you need.
And of course, folks, if you see him drinking out of his water bottle, no, that is not a pina colada. It is his Zip Fizz. And so, in any case, this is the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners and watchers, on whatever the subject of the day is. So what we do is we put the topic out for the next day, which of course we'll cover here in the next segment for tomorrow's, and ask that you call the Fenix line at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. Leave your message.
How dare you?
I know. How do I forget all of these numbers?
Why?
While you're there, you know, just leave a message, obviously, with whatever the suggestion, the story, whatever it may be, and you are entered into a chance to win some Fenix fan gear with what we're calling our prize contest. We'll do a once-a-month drawing for a Fenix Media hat, t-shirt, maybe a few other goodies as well. Today's subject is how should have it ended, and we're talking TV series finales. Of course, last week we talked about the worst TV series finales of all time. You know, TV series that we loved, that we had grown up, you know, with these characters for many, many seasons. And then when it came to that final episode, it really just sort of let us down. And it got us thinking about, you know, how should it have ended? What would you have done differently? Now, Tony, I'm going to turn it over to you. And, you know, I assume I know which one you're going to talk about, but what series finale would you have changed and how?
Well, I've talked about it before, and you even put it in the spoiler, would have been Dexter. That obviously, for the way that one ended, I would have simply had him ride off into the storm with Deb on that boat, and just, that's that. Like, you never have to show them die. You just see them go off into the storm, and that was that. And I think that would have been just a fine way to put it. But I was thinking, you know, what I would have done is actually I would have redone the ending to Lost. I would have tried to tie everything together, but I would not focus my last season on Jacob and the smoke monster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about the mythical crap. That probably could have just been an episode or two. I would have just got a resolution and actually clarified, whether they were dead or not just had them all meet up in a church and be like, yep, we're in purgatory.
Right.
I would have done a lot more explaining of where the hell they were. The show did get wild. It was such a good show, and it got crazy. So for Lost, what I would have done is I would have shortened it. I wouldn't have gone 6 seasons. I would have just kept it maybe 4, maybe 5, and cut it off there, and I give you a definitive finish. I actually probably would have not put them in purgatory. I would have made all of that stuff relevant, and then in the end, maybe you have like Jack, like when he dies, like how the show opens with his eye with the pupil, and he's laying in there, and the plane crashes, the plane's on fire, and everybody's freaking out. I think I'd have had him like, his eyes open, and then he wake up, and then he's like in heaven, and then all the people he encountered that were his friends on the island are there waiting for him or something like that.
Yeah, no, I like
probably would have done that versus the way they ended it. It was just yep, you're in purgatory.
Yeah, it felt rushed. Maybe you do something like, Stephen King's The Langoliers, where, they had somehow crossed over into a parallel universe and, are dealing with these things. And, of course, everybody in the regular universe thinks that they're dead, which ultimately they were. But, now they're trapped in this place. Doing it that way. For me, I think it would have been, more on the sitcom side. Of course, we talked about last week that 70s show where, they teased Eric Foreman, Topher Grace's character, coming back for this big sort of, reveal at the end. And ultimately, you saw him for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, something like that. And it was really...
pissed me off.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. Now, one show that we know is going to end here soon is the Tim Allen show Last Man Standing. And they do a great job of, sort of bringing in characters not only from, the Last Man Standing universe, but Home Improvement and sort of crossing those lines. If they want to do things really right, I think what they should do is find a way to integrate the old Mandy back in. Maybe she's not actually Mandy. Maybe they do a little tongue-in-cheek, wink at the camera for it. But, she was a great character that, unfortunately, when they first got canceled, she went off to other projects and couldn't return back. So that's how I would end Last Man Standing. But, of course, that's still to come, and, hey, might come true. So, folks, that is...
I mean, they did it with Roseanne, with the Beckys, right? They did the
that's
wink,
right.
nod. Yeah.
Yeah, they should definitely do that. But that's what we're looking for. We want you to comment now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just click into the live video and comment there with how your favorite TV series should have ended. When we come back, folks, it is all about you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me,
like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Now we are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of our show where we want you guys to chime in on our subject of the day, which is, how would you have ended your favorite TV series? Now you can do so by heading over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, Radio, of course, with an R. Click into the live video and comment there. And, Tony, before the break, told us how he would have ended Lost. Dexter, I talked about that 70s show and Last Man Standing. But there are so many shows that people were just upset with the way that it ended. And, of course, they had ideas on how it would have been better. Tony, on your end, has anybody chimed in as far as what they would have changed?
Yeah. Superfans Lacey, she chimed in, said, of course, the Lost ending was horrible. So was the ending of Breaking Bad. Supernatural should have ended on the second to last episode. I can't really speak on Supernatural or Breaking Bad because I did not watch those shows all the way to the end. I've never seen Supernatural. I've heard great things about it. Never seen it.
Yeah, me neither. And it's funny because there are some shows where it feels like it should have ended, obviously a couple episodes sooner or even a couple seasons sooner. One show that comes to mind is The Good Place. The Good Place, while it had a wonderful series finale.
Oh, it's great, yeah.
The 2 episodes prior also felt like the series finale. So, it was one of those things, oh, there's a whole nother episode. You watch that. Oh, there's a whole nother one. And then you finally get to the end. Anybody else on your end, Tone?
No, that was it on that. When we talk about shows that should have just ended, things like The Office, that should have ended once, Michael Scott left. So when Steve Carell decided he didn't want to do the show no more, they should not have kept that going. It was rough when they had all those cycling of new bosses. It was not good.
Yeah, you had Ed Helms who came in there, and it's shows like that get a little long in the tooth. We've talked obviously about Walking Dead, and I've pulled up a list of series that should have ended sooner. Not only in the way
I like that
episodes, but in the way
I'll chime in on that, and I'll continue to tell you if anyone chimes in on my end. So, yeah.
Perfect. So, for instance, this list says that Mad Men, the series finale, was season 7, but it should have been season 5. The actual series finale of Mad Men was perfect, but the 2 seasons leading up to it were totally off the rails, yet somehow still kind of boring. Perhaps fitting for a, granted, very good show that's about a bunch of white people in advertising. What was all the S with Bob Benson? That so goody two-shoes he was sinister brown-noser? They got us all worked up about him in season 6, then didn't even make him a serial killer or anything fun like that. Do we even remember Pete's affair? Megan's miscarriage? They pale in comparison to the sexy, slow burn drama of the first 5 seasons. At the end of season 5, Don Draper should have turned out to be D.B. Cooper, Peggy should have stuck with Abe, and everyone else should have moved to a hippie commune or something along those lines. And I don't disagree. I watched Mad Men pretty much through that season 5 until it got really boring.
And then you're like, nope, we're good. Yeah, once the attention's gone, then you're like, yeah, see you later. Trying to think what show I've done that to where I was all about it, and the more I watched it, I was like, nah, I'm good. Oh, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I made it like the first 2 seasons, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need to keep up. I don't know. I think they're on season 6 or 7 now, but
yeah,
I stopped after 2. I'm like, nah, it's not for me.
Yeah, not for me either. You know, and it's tough because the original series started out good. Fear the Walking Dead started out great, but you know, it's almost zombie overload, and
it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. All you can hope for now is there's more and more crossovers with the crew that you know and love. It seems like they did, based on what I've read, they've done that with a few of the characters. Mike chimed in and he said Seinfeld should have ended before its last episode instead of some weird look back montage crap episode where they all end in jail.
Yeah,
no. I agree. That was a really crappy ending. Or finale. It was terrible for such a long running show that had, you know, I enjoyed Seinfeld. I thought it was great, but
yeah, and when
they should have ended a lot better than it did.
When they try to tie in everything together in one episode, it sometimes just doesn't work. Now, with series that should have ended sooner as far as season-wise, another one is Arrested Development, which it found new life again on Netflix. Is it still going? Is it not going? Who knows? But it should have been season 2. They said, I refuse to acknowledge season 4 and 5 of Arrested Development, and if we're honest, the majority of season 3 is dicey too. The ableist plot involving Charlize Theron as a mentally, they say, quote-unquote, mentally retarded female is questionable for sure, as our adopted son annoying Annie Young's low-key racist deportation and spying storylines. Arrested Development should have ended with its 2nd season when the show was absolutely at its peak. I agree, and that's another show that I watched the first couple seasons. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Not my favorite, but I didn't.
It wasn't my favorite either. It was okay.
I didn't watch the revival, so you know, I can't speak to seasons 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, I watched the first season, and I was just like, you know, it wasn't enough to grip me to want to go back and watch more. It was just, it was okay. You know, I've said this before last week. I think How I Met Your Mother should have ended after on season 7, 6 or 7. I don't think they needed to go to 9 seasons. I feel like they kind of just kept stretching it.
They did, yeah. They just wanted to keep that moneymaker going, but ultimately the story ended up suffering from
most Chuck Lorre. Well, that wasn't a Chuck Lorre, but most of his shows they run really long too. You know, like 2.5 Men should have ended with. Once Charlie left, they should have just killed off that show. And, you know, while The Big Bang Theory was still pretty funny towards the end, I felt like that probably could have ended a season sooner, too.
Yeah. And it's still a great show and probably one of the better ones to run to the end, but at the same time...
Yeah, it didn't get too stale, but it was starting to get a little bit, you know, like what else can we really do with these cool characters, you know? Because it was fun, but there's only so long that they could all like go meet up in that tiny apartment and eat the same, you know, eat and yeah, no, it was a great show though. I do love that show.
Yeah, people grow, people move on. Here's another one that I don't necessarily agree with. They're saying Stranger Things, the series finale. Obviously, it's confirmed for 4 seasons. which will end there. They've got a planned ending for the whole storyline, but this person says should have been season 2. Again, I don't agree. But their reasoning, the 3rd season of Stranger Things, Netflix's sci-fi darling, raises the question of where and when gleeful pandering to our collective nostalgia starts to surpass the plot itself. And consequently, at what point should the Duffer Brothers, the series creators, call the whole thing off in favor of a tighter ending? Will Byers isn't the same kid after he's made it out of the Upside Down at the end of season 1, and a follow-up season that finds the gang defeating the Mind Flayer again, closing the gate for good feels organic and warranted. But to reopen the same plot and literally reopen the same portal, even if you blame Russia this time, automatically lowers the narrative stakes of the show. Sure, it's fun to see the cast navigating the 80s, teenage lust, malls, geopolitical tension, scrunchies, but you can only save Hawkins from a flesh-eating demon from another dimension so many times before your previous victories start to lose their emotional impact. Even if you kill, but very obviously not kill, a beloved character this time around, wrapping it up at season 2 is generous. Again, I don't necessarily agree. I think they've got an overall larger plan for the series that will see it through to the very end.
Yeah, but if this show just kept going like The Walking Dead, where there was a new season every year with no end in sight, then yeah, I could see that. But they at least know what the ending is. So they're going to do their, you get to season 4. Now, there's no season 5, right? It's just season 4.
Yeah, season 4 is their planned endpoint, which Netflix has been doing. Netflix has been giving an endpoint to these shows so that they don't get long in the tooth. And I think that's it's a good way to go.
That's smart. That's why I'm stoked with a lot of these Marvel limited series. They're not going to be, it's not like you're going to see the, not that I wouldn't want to see WandaVision go on more than I mean, you're just going to get the one season and that's it. And, some of these, that's okay, because it just sets up the movies and stuff. They're there for a purpose, and that's it.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for this topic of how it should have ended TV series. Maybe we'll revisit it with movies or movie series as well. But tomorrow's call-in topic is the worst Christmas movies ever. Now, in Rank It last week, we went through the top Christmas movies of all time. But for every great Christmas movie, there are 2 or 3 terrible ones.
There's some bad ones.
Just look at the Hallmark Channel, and that I'm sure would be bottom of the barrel. But what we want you guys to do is call in on the Fenix Line, 855 Phoenix Radio. Let us know your pick for the worst Christmas movie of all time. Folks, when we come back, we've got a reoccurring segment, Whatever Happened to the Cast of... Who? You've got to wait to find out. Come back after the break, and you will know. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, December 15th. Now, we talk about it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, including our call-in topic for tomorrow, worst Christmas movies ever. And it's a voicemail. You don't even have to talk to a real live person. You know how it works. You just leave a message after the beep. That number, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, in this segment, wanted to do something that we've done a few times here in the past couple months. Whatever happened to the cast of, and in this case, the Mighty Ducks? Now, Disney Plus just dropped a trailer for Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which obviously brings us back to the world of Mighty Ducks. That's, obviously the original.
I was like, Emilio! I swear to God, the Mighty Duck Man. You know who it was? The Mighty Duck. You know who I used to get compared to? Chris Kattan all the time.
Seriously?
People said, yeah, when I had no facial hair, when he was famous, people were like, you look like Chris Kattan, or Doug Butabi is what they always call me. I'm glad they didn't call me Mango. So
there you go. But, Mighty Ducks, the first one was great. D2 was another great one. And then D3, it started falling off.
I thought you were going to crap on D2. I was like, no, don't you crap on D2. That was badass.
No, D2 had the knuckle puck. How do you?
D3 though, I agree with you. It had one memorable scene for me, and that was when Josh Jackson sat down on the bench with his little girl that he was trying to impress, and he goes, "Oh, you like Pantera? They're like my favorite band." So for a Disney movie to reference the band Pantera was kind of caught me off guard as a teen.
Nothing wrong.
I did not like the third one very much.
No. And it'll be interesting to see, how this reboot does. But in any case, we're looking at Mighty Ducks and whatever happened to the cast of the original, including Gordon Bombay himself, Emilio Estevez. Gordon Bombay as the arrogant defense attorney, played by Emilio Estevez, who, after a night of celebratory drinking, gets slapped with a DUI and sentenced to community service, coaching a Pee-wee hockey team. The 80s Brat Pack alum went on to lead the Mighty Ducks sequels D2 and D3 and star in a few TV movies as well as The West Wing with, of course, his father Martin Sheen and 2.5 Men with his brother Charlie Sheen. In 2006, he directed and starred in the feature film Bobby. He also carved out a niche as a television director. And in 2010, he played alongside his father again in The Way. His most recent project was the movie The Public, starring Taylor Schilling, Jeffrey Wright, and Alec Baldwin, which came out in 2018. So he's been laying low, but we are going to see him again in this upcoming Mighty Ducks reboot. Who we're not going to see is...
Yeah, baby!
Is,
That's kind of a long
boy, that was a long one.
Yeah.
Who we're more than likely not going to see, at least based on the previews, is Charlie Conway, of course, Joshua Jackson, Pacey. Charlie is the wholesome heart of the Mighty Ducks team. He refuses to cheat, and at the beginning of the film stands up to Gordon, who slowly becomes more of a father figure to Charlie and gives him the confidence to take the championship winning shot. Joshua Jackson played Charlie 25 years ago and has had a robust career in TV and film since. Most notably, Jackson starred on TV as Pacey Witter in Dawson's Creek from 1998 to 2003. Peter Bishop in Fringe, which is a fantastic show. I recommend people checking out.
Great show.
And Cole Lockhart on The Affair. Most recently, he appeared in Netflix's When They See Us and the upcoming Little Fires Everywhere. He also made his Broadway debut in 2017, leading the revival of Children of a Lesser God. And so that's what Joshua Jackson's been up to.
It's good. You know, Fringe had me thinking, we just talked about shows that should have ended before they did. Fringe is a show that should have gotten more. Like, we didn't even get a finale. It just got canceled before it got ended. So,
and there's plenty of those shows.
We should do down the line shows that didn't get life that you got into. Fringe was a prime example.
Exactly. Now let's move on with whatever happened to the cast of the Mighty Ducks. You have Fulton Reed, played by Eldon Henson. Fulton Reed is a tough outsider who reluctantly joins the Mighty Ducks after slapshotting a puck through Gordon's van window. Henson went on to play smaller roles in She's All That, Castaway, and Dumb and Dumberer. He also played the mute character Pollux in the first two Hunger Games movies. Most recently, Henson starred as Foggy Nelson on the Marvel and Netflix Defenders and Daredevil, with appearances on Jessica Jones
it's his birthday.
and Luke
Charlie
Cage.
Cox is everywhere.
Yep, and his best friend played by Eldon Henson, Foggy Nelson.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him play like a bubbly Foggy when he was so used to him playing that dark outsider as the Mighty Duck.
Kind of brooding.
He was also in Idle Hands. And he played a lot of like a Foggy character in Idle Hands.
Yeah, he was
Jessica Alba.
He was always sort of the best friend, but never the main character.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on with whatever happened to the cast of the Mighty Ducks. Well, you have Greg Goldberg, who was played by Sean Weiss.
Goldberg!
Food lover and serial farter, Greg served as the Mighty Ducks goalie, but was terrified of being hit by pucks. With the help of Gordon and his team, he was able to overcome his fear and help get the Ducks to the championship. Sean Weiss, who portrayed Greg in the movie, also starred in the Disney movie Heavyweights and booked roles in the TV series Mr. Rhodes, The Tony Danza Show, and Freaks and Geeks. Since those 90s titles, he has mainly played small roles in B-comedies. Unfortunately, in August 2017, Weiss was arrested for alleged possession of methamphetamine, and in January 2020, he was arrested again for residential burglary and being under the influence of a controlled substance, again, allegedly methamphetamine. And if you've seen any pictures of him recently,
looks rough, man.
He looks sadly very, very rough. So hopefully he makes a recovery, and maybe we'll even see him in the new series.
Maybe.
Is it a series or is it a movie?
It's just a series, or maybe it is a movie. I don't know. It doesn't say, right?
It doesn't, no.
To me, I think it's a movie because basically, for those who haven't watched the trailer, it essentially looks like the original Mighty Ducks. It's the same story. The only difference this time is the Mighty Ducks are the bad team, right?
They're the bad guys.
Like now, the Mighty Ducks are they're all about having the elite, and now these like outcasts can't make that team. So it's basically the Mighty Ducks are the heels, and and the outsiders got to find Bombay. So it'll be Bombay versus the old Ducks. That's what I took out of the trailer.
Well, and Disney Plus knows how to reboot a movie or a series by doing essentially exactly the same thing and passing it off as brand new. So
I think it's just a movie because I can't see Emilio doing a TV show. I just can't see Mr. Former Paula Abdul doing that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too busy, so you never know. Well, let's move on with
it's true.
whatever happened in the cast of the Mighty Ducks. Connie Moreau, who was played by actress Marguerite Moreau, interesting, same last name. Connie, or as her teams refer to her, the Velvet Hammer, is the Mighty Ducks' only female player, and she's proud of it. Marguerite Moreau, who shares the last name with her character, played the kind but tough hockey player. Besides starring in D2 and D3, Moreau did stints on 90s series Boy Meets World, Blossom, and Amazing Grace. She hit it big when she starred in the cult classic Wet Hot American Summer in 2001. She has enjoyed regular movie work as well as recurring roles on Life as We Know It, The O.C., Parenthood, American Crime Story, Grey's Anatomy, and Shameless. Moreau also recently starred in 2 WHAS follow-ups, Wet Hot American Summer, First Day of Camp, and 10 Years Later. Her most recent
That's
role...
why she looks so familiar, and I didn't put that together when I watched it. I go, God, that girl looks familiar.
Yeah.
There you go.
Most recent role was on CBS All Access's Tell Me a Story and Netflix's Paddleton. So those are places you can check her out. But, let's move on with some of the...
That's crazy. She was in Tell Me a Story. That was a great show, too. I like that one.
I've never seen it. I'll have to check it out.
It wasn't bad.
Let's move on. Whatever happened to the cast of The Mighty Ducks? You have Jesse Hall, played by Brandon Quinton Adams. Brandon Quinton Adams played Jesse, the Duck's sarcastic forward who is skeptical of everyone, especially Gordon. Adams went on to star in The Sandlot in 1993 and landed guest spots on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Sister, Sister, and Moesha. Since then, his acting credits have been sparse, save for voiceover work in the video game series Kingdom Hearts. Interesting. I didn't know that he had done voiceover work.
Didn't know either.
Here's another one that I didn't put 2 and 2 together until going through this. Whatever happened to the cast of Mighty Ducks? Well, Terry Hall was played by Jussie Smollett. Of course, that name obviously rings a bell. Jussie Smollett portrayed Jesse's little brother Terry, who also played for the Ducks. Smollett is best recognized for his role as Jamal Lyon in the hit Fox drama Empire. After the Mighty Ducks, he starred in the 90s NBC sitcom On Our Own. He booked guest roles on the Mindy Project, Underground, and Revenge before landing Empire and 2 big movie roles, Langston Hughes in Marshall and Rix in Alien Covenant. However, in January 2019, Smollett became embroiled in controversy since what initially appeared to be a racial and homophobic attack against him came under question, resulting in his eventual arrest. The charges have subsequently been dropped, but he still faces a lawsuit from the city of Chicago, where Empire films. And so, yeah.
Is that the one where he said he got beat up, like somebody kicked his ass, but then he was lying about it or something?
Yeah, it turns out it looks like he paid 2 guys to do it. And
I didn't know he was a Mighty Duck.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Lame.
And then finally, in Whatever Happened to the Cast of Mighty Ducks, Les Averman, played by Matt Doherty. When the resident goofball of the Ducks wasn't getting knocked down on the ice by bigger players, he was playing pranks. Matt Doherty played the trickster in 1992 and soon starred in So I Married an Axe Murderer opposite Mike Myers. Since 2000, he has regularly booked stints on shows like ER, Felicity, CSI Miami, Grey's Anatomy, and Rosewood. And he was the little nerdy kid with the big old glasses, and pretty much looks exactly the same.
I was going to say, Benny the Jet, you said one of them went on to be the Sandlot. Benny the Jet Rodriguez, I think it was Mike Vitar, is that his name? Mike Vitar?
No, Brandon Quinton Adams.
Well, there was also one, though, like he played Benny the Jet in Sandlot. Like
oh,
he was in
gotcha.
Mighty Ducks 2. Like, he wasn't in the first Mighty Ducks, but he was in the second Mighty Ducks.
Gotcha. That's why he's not on this list. This just runs down the first one.
It was just the first one. Gotcha.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for Whatever Happened to the Cast of, in this case, the Mighty Ducks. When we come back, we're headed into the final segment of the show. It's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we did it, folks. We made it to the end of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show on a Tuesday, December 15th, but not before we take you through this day in history. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it is easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Oh, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I was a little premature on that one.
Yeah, Steve Carell is adamantly
I was
not
like,
a god.
No, I'm not a god. No!
In any case, while you are there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
Even if it's premature. Well, folks, it is the final segment of the show. As we do each and every day, we'll drop a little knowledge, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, let's kick off with this day in 1488. Bartolomeu Dias returns to Portugal after becoming the first known European to sail around the Cape of Good Hope, which of course is the very bottom tip of South Africa. Luckily, nobody was eaten by great white sharks, as far as we know. So,
right. Well, I hope they love the rains down in Africa.
Yeah,
especially Bart. You know, because you know that he was the inspiration for Bart Simpson. You know,
totally.
Excellent.
Totally.
This day in 1791, the U.S. Bill of Rights is ratified when Virginia gives its approval, becoming Amendments 1 through 10 of the U.S. Constitution. And obviously everything that we know from the freedom of speech to the freedom or to the right to bear arms and all of those rights between 3 and 10 as well, which many of which I, thou shalt not kill. No, that's one of the 10 commandments. Anyway.
That is, yeah.
Good news, everyone.
That's just good stuff right there.
All right, let's move on.
Except nowadays, you don't really get to express some of that nowadays. So
yeah, that we'll save that for another type of show. Here we like to, be a little bit on the lighter side of things. For instance, this day in 1840, Napoleon Bonaparte receives a French state funeral in Paris 19 years after his death. Of course, he couldn't celebrate, but of all of his people who could celebrate, they of course went to Farrell's and got a Piggly Wiggly trough.
Excellent!
As you do. Of course, this time of year, we're getting into the playoffs for football. We love the NFL. Well, this day in 1935, the National Football League Championship at the University of Detroit Stadium, where the Detroit Lions beat the New York Giants 26-7. Lions' first title. Again, we're not going to see either of those teams this year.
Sorry if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Why?
Right.
Why?
Could be worse.
I digress.
You could be a Browns fan.
No, dude, the Browns are actually better than the Lions, dude. The Browns. Did you watch that Monday night game last night? The Browns put on a showcase, man. They went toe-to-toe with the Ravens last night. That was a great game.
But ultimately did not win.
They did lose, and I lost my uncle's fantasy football. Thanks, Lamar Jackson, for coming out like Superman in the last 2 minutes. I was winning by 2 points, so you came out through that touchdown and killed my dreams. Oh, wow. But, it is sad. Yeah, the Browns have been a real sad team. But, God, you think about the Lions. So if they won the NFL championship, they've never won a Super Bowl, though.
Nope. And then I think the Jets are the new Lions now. It's pretty pathetic. But we could talk football all day long.
There is some positive maybe coming out of that. So
yep.
Little sunshine maybe.
Frankly, I don't give a damn. Now, speaking of which, this day in 1939, Gone with the Wind, drama film directed by Victor Fleming and starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, premieres in Atlanta, wins Best Picture in 1940, inflation not adjusted, highest grossing film of all time.
Movie's offensive.
How dare I even bring it up, right?
Yeah, don't talk about it. It needs to be edited, please. It offends me. No, just kidding. Classic, man. Classic.
Yeah. And a long movie, especially for that time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's move on. This day in 1955, Folsom Prison Blues, single released by Johnny Cash, the Man in Black, Billboard Song of the Year in 1968.
And Volbeat would later go on and kind of rip it off.
A little bit.
There's a little sad man. Oh. No, it was more of a homage, like more so than that.
Exactly.
I remember that when I heard Folsom, when someone was singing on American Idol, I was like, hey, this is Volbeat, man. And then later, no, Volbeat, borrowed that. Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Not so much. All right, let's move on. This day in 1973, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride opens at Disneyland. Not a thrilling ride, but it's still fun. And of course, they integrated the, Gore Verbinski, Disney movies into it in more recent years, which, give it that extra bit of fun.
What I like too is they're slightly different from Disneyland to Disney World. They're a little bit different. So that's always cool. I personally love the ride. I like it. I always enjoy being on it.
Yeah. And it's, you never get soaked like Splash Mountain, but you get a little wet.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. Splash Mountain, I don't like being all soaked. But you know what? I would take a soak if it meant going back to one of them.
Yeah. Well,
I know you can do Disney World, but Disneyland, geez, I cannot believe that's still not up and running.
I know. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But let's move on. This day in 1979, Chris Haney and Scott Abbott developed the board game Trivial Pursuit. Obviously one of the
cool.
biggest board games to come out, and still a lot of fun. And there's so many different versions of it too now.
Great game. Great game.
This day in 1988, Lori Davis of Long Island sues Iron Mike Tyson for grabbing her butt.
I swear it wasn't me. It was the pigeon. That Detective Pigeon.
It was the one-armed man.
It wasn't me. That was Roy Jones Jr. yeah, I had a spinal injury. Spinal?
You know who never had a spinal injury, luckily? This day in 1997, San Francisco 49ers retired Joe Montana's number 16, probably one of the greatest football dynasties of all time.
Absolutely. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. There's just Joe Cool, man. It was a bummer he had to end his career in Kansas City, but hey, he sparked them for a few years as well. And, did great things for San Francisco. So happy to see that he got his number retired.
Oh, totally.
Way to go, Joe.
Same day, 1997, Spice World, the movie directed by Bob Spears and starring the girl group The Spice Girls, premieres in the UK. I know that's one of your favorites of all time, right, Tone?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely love that movie. What a piece of crap movie that was. We used to, my friend Amanda, when we worked at Video Maniacs, she would loop it because you could watch your PG or like PG movies up to like 5 p.m. and then you could watch PG-13 after that. Spice World and Space Jam, lots of that on loop.
Ooh, I am so sorry. Moving on, this day in 2002, the 68th Heisman Trophy Award is given to Carson Palmer of USC, who I've had the honor of meeting. Obviously worked in the automotive business, sold him a car, but great football mind, did great for the Cincinnati Bengals for a long time. Dumb as a box of rocks in real life. Just going to put it out there.
Oh, no. Oh, man. You've encountered, I'd love to hear some of your car people that you've encountered. I know of, that's the first time I've heard of that one. I know your Ray Liotta stuff.
Yeah, got stories for days from there. But finally, in 2011, this day, Barry Bonds is sentenced to 30 days of house arrest, 2 years of probation, and 250 hours of community service for an obstruction of justice conviction stemming from a grand jury appearance in 2003, which I assume had to do with his whole steroid debacle.
Yeah. It would probably just been easy if he just admitted it. Like, you could have just played it as you didn't. It wasn't banned at the time, so yeah, I did it. But because obviously we know him and McGuire, they got bulky, super bulky, and they crushed the balls even before then. But
without
it just
a doubt.
Enhanced it, I guess. But
exactly,
it made baseball fun.
And finally, we'll close out the day not without a few holidays.
Celebrate.
In honor of Tony's rendition. Well, today is National Bill of Rights Day for obvious reasons. Today is Cat Herders Day, which I guess could also be known as National Managers Day. It is International Tea Day. It is National...
Oh, I had my tea, too.
You did. It is National Cupcake Day, which that sounds delicious. And take this as you will, it is National Pearl Necklace Day. So, folks, that does it.
It's a real necklace that you can buy at the store.
That does it for today's episode. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see you back tomorrow on a Wednesday with Words Are Hard. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.